Good morning, everyone.
Or sir.
How's everybody? Excellent, excellent. Happy Friday.
Good morning.
I see a couple people just logging in right now. We're going to get started 9 o'clock on the 12th of November. Good night. This month is flying by. I tell you what, I was trying to think of a topic today, and quite frankly, there's so much news going on. We're going to hit the hot things, and then I'll leave it open for questions today. But big news this morning. Condolences to Hugh Leatherman's family. He passed away overnight. My text started blowing up early this morning around 6:30 that he had passed, but what a great legacy that he leaves for the state. As someone who, I got my ass kicked by Hugh Leatherman more times than I've ever been kicked by anybody before in my life. He was gentleman though about it. He may give a little smirk every now and then that he knew that he won, but he was a legend. And quite frankly, we talked about this a few weeks ago. Hugh Leatherman's legacy is going to be one that it will be written about for years, because there will not be anybody that amasses that much power that he has had in our lifetime. I mean, it is remarkable what he's been able to do in his 40 years in the General Assembly, but more importantly, the power he's amassed since 2001 when he took over as chairman of the Senate Finance Committee. But so his race will be interesting because we're in the middle of redrawing the districts. So his district's being redrawn, so they'll fill his seat to the next general election, and then the new person and the new seat, the new lines will take effect. So anyway, I'm sure there'll be much written about him over the next days and weeks ahead. But my thoughts were Gene and his family and the rest of the Senate. But I will tell you what, we talked about this a few weeks ago when he got put into hospice. Last week, Senate staffers were going down and meet with him on the budget. You got to be kidding me. It's so crazy. I mean, his work ethic was unbelievable. So anyway, let's see. Great news out of the hospital systems in South Carolina. I know, Vince, you could talk about, but there were low numbers of COVID patients at Richland, low numbers in USC, and low double-digit numbers at Lexington. So that is great. One thing we got to be concerned about, if you saw the spikes in Europe this week. So we've been 3 or 4 months behind them on variants. So we'll have to, I know that the early stats show something for coming back over here after the holidays, but we've got to be prudent here. This thing's not over with. Job numbers are good though. Economy. I mean, we talked about Senator Leatherman meeting on the budget. BEA, the Board of Economic Advisors, came out this week and said our budget is going to be quite a bit bigger. In fact, we grew 13.2% in our budget this year, which is the largest increase since 1940. In a pandemic year, we grew 13%. That's $1 billion more to spend annually, but with one-time monies from another $1 billion that they had in surplus last year, plus $3 billion in government funds, they're going to have $5 billion more to spend this year than they did last year. By the way, I know I'm getting old, and I keep talking about things that happened 15 years ago. 15 years ago, the budget was $3.5 billion. And now we have $5 billion to spend in 1 year, more than we had last year. That, anyway, mind blowing. So, which makes, back to Senator Leatherman, makes this race and the way that the Senate breaks up the power that he had. One person is not going to mass it all. It's going to be over 4 or 5 people will assume his responsibilities, but that is a lot of money to have in a year that without with new leadership. I'll just say that. So interesting there. Sorry, I got to put my glasses on. Big other news. I mean, to tell you, how about we finally broke ground on Carolina Crossroads. For those less informed, that's called Malfunction Junction. Will always be Malfunction Junction, but finally nice to see dirt moving there. They've been working on parts of this project with the expansion out towards Chapin, the largest infrastructure project in South Carolina's history. If y'all remember back when they started building the Ravenel Bridge in Charleston, that was the largest infrastructure project that time. It was $350 million to build the Ravenel Bridge. This is 3 times that cost. And that's today's dollars. And it's going to be an 8 to 10 year build out. Hey, let's take some wagers on what that's going to cost at the end of the day, and the time frame as well. We'll roll the dice there, but that's a $1.7 billion infrastructure project that is just massive in its undertaking between I-26, 126, I-20, couple rivers, and they're going to be building it while we still have traffic. But I wasn't really, I couldn't believe that there's 134,000 cars that go through there every single day. That is big. So if you think about it, that huge investment that the state's making, though it's here in Columbia, it really has a statewide impact, because the Port of Charleston is the economic engine of South Carolina, and to get goods and services through from the upstate down the port, it's huge. And so even over from Augusta, so that project well underway. So thanks DOT for their efforts there. That's a massive project. Was really excited to see, back to Vince. Thank you, Prisma, for their investment in the Greenways project here in Columbia. For those that didn't see, Prisma is going to be sponsoring the Greenways, which is about a $2 million nut, but more importantly, will offer some health component to the walkways, exercise equipment, stuff along the path. But anyway, it will be rebranded. So take note of that. The city decided to unanimously take away the masks for the city of Columbia, which nobody was wearing anyway that I was looking around. So, but the county decided to keep it, and the school district's got to keep it. So that's new. Last thing, we talked about this before, but just to circle back up, it looks like the convention center is not on hit a pause button until early next year. I think the city and the county want some more numbers. They want to see post-COVID numbers related to the previous data that was out there. Has that changed the outlook, attendance, heads and beds, etc.? And so I think that's prudent for our elected officials to ask that question, or those questions to the developer. And so I think they want answers by early next year, maybe into the first quarter, beginning of second quarter. So we shall see how that plays out. All right, let's see. We had a great debate this week with, I think they've had 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 this week, but between Daniel Rickman and Tamika Isaac Devine, host issues. I will flat out tell you, for them to keep doing all these things, and they're saying a lot of the same stuff, more power to them. I appreciate their willingness to participate. I didn't see it. Rich, I know y'all had one this week on Wednesday. We had one on Monday. WIS had one last night, but my phone blew up a little bit about one last night as it relates to taxes. I think there was a question to Ms. Devine whether or not what she's done to work on taxes and I didn't watch the whole thing, but she said that people at the chamber didn't bring people together. the Chamber's had a tax study since 2015. We met with the city, the county, the school district since 2015, and no such luck. So just want to set the record straight. We have brought folks together. Vince was there. In fact, we enjoyed having Vince there. Dr. Witherspoon participated in those conversations as well back 2015, 2016. So anyway, we have been working. We got a lot more work to do to make us business friendly. So I see a bunch of chats, but I haven't been able to keep up. Sorry, my ADD-ness here. All right, let me stop there. What are y'all hearing? What's news with y'all's business that we could talk about today? Anyone? Coffee break, and then we can hit that.
Hey, Carl, on the subject of the state General Assembly, I haven't been following the redistricting closely, especially because I'm relatively new here, but I thought I saw a headline that Richland County, Columbia is losing a House seat. And any insights into what that might mean for us?
So there's a real story and a backstory to everything, right? And you just got to peel back the onion. What is reported is that growth along the coast has surpassed that of the Midlands. Therefore, we are losing not only a House, they're merging two districts. It's Wendy Brawley's seat and Jermaine Johnson's seat in Lower Richland, and moving that to Mount Pleasant. The Senate seat, Senate District 20, runs downtown Columbia all the way out to Irmo. It is former seat, longtime Senator, was Dick Harpootlian is now, but Dick has given signs that he's not running. He said initially he was going to run for the unexpired term for Senator Corson, and then one term, and that's it. And so they have moved that Senate seat to the Grand Strand, Georgetown, Surfside, somewhere in that neighborhood. It's a huge blow to Columbia. I cannot get any traction on this, to be honest with you. It's done. There's no pulling this back, and that's Carl's opinion. They'll have some hearings and they'll have some votes. It's not officially done, but my understanding is leadership in the House has no plans to make any significant changes to the maps that have been issued. Maybe a tweak here or there. That means somebody's mad and they're going to draw them around a little lake or something like that. But otherwise, they're not making significant differences. So we will lose both a Senate seat and a House seat in Richland County. But some of that is our own doing, by the way. This has all approval from everybody in Richland County. So this should be from a leadership in Richland County. This was nodded off on. So we have our own folks to blame for this, but it's a, Tom, you weren't here last week, but I called it an incumbency protection plan. And I'll stand by that. All right. Anybody else got something for today? I mean, I'm sure there's so many things going on, and we just hit the highlights today, or I did.
Well, just a quick comment, and I apologize for not recalling the entity that did this study, but Columbia did come up as the #1 city for real estate investment.
Yeah.
So I thought that was a boon for us.
It is. It's an interesting study. You got to dig into those numbers pretty carefully. Wallet Hub does some stuff, and some real estate groups look at for the cost of living and the cost of real estate and home ownership. And so we do have some of the lowest rates for single occupancy residential living. So owner occupied housing is fairly inexpensive in Columbia. If you try to take that and move it to a rental property, a commercial property, we don't make we don't make a list. Actually, we do make a list, but it's the bottom list. It's the commercial taxes that and second home prices that they have our number. And so that's the 6% and 10% is the industrial rate. But yes, which is unbelievable. I mean, it really is good. And when you see people that move here, the cost of living is very reasonable. It absolutely, but it does benefit those that can afford to buy their own homes, but it penalizes those that don't. So great. Thanks for pointing that out. Yeah. So buy your house. It's cheap here. Mr. Whipple, you're awake to this morning. What's going on at Midlands Tech?
I think one of the things that made news across the college this week was no tuition for qualified students for next semester, which bodes well for those young persons that are looking to continue their education, or for those young people that are ready to enter into the first phase of their education, that they can know for at least for the first semester of 22, for those students that are qualified, it's tuition free.
That's good stuff.
Yeah, so we're excited about it. Hopefully we'll be able to get enrollment across academic institutions across the country. I mean, it's down, and we're hopeful that this will stimulate some activity and increase those enrollment numbers.
Great.
I'll tell you one thing that you mentioned about the mask. I was in Atlanta I was in Atlanta this past Monday at the Atlanta Chamber. We were there all day, and inside the chamber's facilities, which are very nice, they occupy an entire floor in a building there in downtown Atlanta. But we were required to wear a mask, in the hallways and in the meeting space that we were occupying the entire day there. So and they emphasized it at every turn, and I thought that was kind of odd, unusual.
Yeah, I've talked to I've drawn a blank on her name. She's great. The CEO of the Atlanta Chamber. They've done a good job lately, but they've got tons of pressure on them right now. But glad, yeah, those facilities are awesome.
Yes.
Great, thank you, Chuck. Anyone else?
Carl, this is Karen.
Hey, Karen.
Good morning, everybody. More in line, we're actually with the chamber. We are hosting one of several interest meetings on the new MBA program that the chamber is launching in January for small and women-owned minority businesses. I love your support. Please, if you know of small businesses that are interested or that would be a good fit for the program, please participate. Henry, if you could put the information in the chat box. You should have received it in an email yesterday as a reminder, and I'm not sure if it's anything out there, but it should be coming up shortly after this call.
Yeah, I think it's in the chat box. Thank you for mentioning that. We're really excited about this program that we're launching with the help of the Greenville Chamber. We're doing it simultaneously with the Charleston Chamber. It's the Midlands Minority Business Accelerator program. And so we are looking for the first cohort that we're going to start in January. But thrilled about this opportunity for any minority business, whether veteran-owned, women-owned, African-American, you name it. If it's a minority business, we want to work with them. So we realize that from an economic development sense, homegrown talent and homegrown businesses are where we really need to focus our energies, because it's a great opportunity to see growth from within, and that's what's going to pay the bills for the future of Columbia. So it's important that we invest in our companies. So thanks, Karen. By the way, Karen Jenkins is chairing this committee for us and serves proudly on our executive board. So thank you, Karen, for that. All right, great military Veterans Day parade yesterday. One of my favorite days of the year. I love the Veterans Day parade down Sumter Street. So Susan played a good hand in that, but it's great to see. The Grand Marshal was our Adjutant General, Van McCarty, and we also had General Michaelis there. CG at Fort Jackson was marching along too. So as did the Chamber Chicks. So anyway, all right. Anyone else got anything? Because I can wrap up, but if y'all have got a couple things, I'm going through here. There are a bunch of notes in the chat box So please check that out. About a couple of events coming down the pike. Habitat. We got a military meeting next week. All right. I bet you didn't know this. On this date, crazy. First drive-in bank happened in like 1945 in Chicago. That's crazy. Charles Manson and Grace Kelly share a birth date. I mean, well, I don't guess you can choose who you share a birth date with. Rodin, who did The Thinker, he was born on November 12th. But the best reference for today is, everybody's seen Back to the Future. 10:04, November 12th, 1955. That's the date when the lightning strikes. Bet you didn't know that, right? You know, on the square, everybody got it, right? It's dated, it's November 12th, 1955 at 10:04. So think about that tonight as you're heading to bed, that they're trying to get back to the future. So anyway, all right. We will probably have a special guest next week, just a teaser. I'm not giving in any other intel right now, but I appreciate y'all being with us today. We will be back here, same bat channel next Friday morning at 9 a.m. I hope y'all have a delightful weekend. Columbia versus Columbia this weekend in Missouri. I hope the Gamecocks carry with them some momentum. And good luck to Clemson in the last 2 minutes of the game, because that's how they've been rolling lately. So, all right, y'all, peace out. Drive in the left lane, not in the left lane, in the right lane. And y'all have a good weekend. We'll see you real soon. Thank you.
Everybody go vote on Tuesday.
Vote on Tuesday. Absolutely.
Vote
Thank you.
Tuesday.